After years of customer complaints about GRU, state lawmakers are considering turning their attention to regulating municipal utilities.
But some Gainesville city commissioners don't like that idea. TV20's Zitlali Salachi tells us why some residents say this is a step in the right direction.
I am excited. I am so happy.
Florida lawmakers are raising the possibility of giving state regulators more oversight of municipal utilities. Those include GRU and Ocala Electric Utility.
Problems that I'm seeing now are people are getting 2 and 3 bills all in one bill because they failed to read meters or the system got locked and they were unable to send out those bills.
State Senator Keith Perry says high rates are also a concern for those who are customers of municipal utilities but live outside of city boundaries.
I would like to see that the PSC would give people outside of the city of Gainesville an opportunity to decide whether they wanted to continue to have GRU as their provider or they wanted to have an option.
Angela Castile has become the voice of those who are struggling to pay their GRU bills. She says the possibility of having oversight from state lawmakers is a step in the right direction.
I'm excited. I don't feel like our community is defeated now. I feel like we've been heard and we can continue to be heard because even if something doesn't happen right now, it can come back to the table.
However, newly elected Commissioner Brian Eastman prefers to keep state oversight out of local operations.
Back in 2018, they tried this once before. We rejected it as a local community. I'm sure that we would reject this as well. It's important that we have local voices that are overseeing our utility. That's something that we're very proud of and something that we want to continue forward with.
Lawmakers did not give details about the proposal. Zitlali Solache, TV 20 News.